Hi everyone, Allison Chariez here, founder of the AC7 Group and career leadership and high performance coach. Thanks for joining this week. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like what you hear today, and peruse on over to Facebook and like my Facebook page as well. Just so you know, if you're new and you've never heard me before, don't know what I'm all about, this video vlog is what I do every week. So what I do is I take topics or questions that have come up during the course of the week and then address them. And today, actually, I was talking to someone about conflict, how to handle conflict, how to handle a situation that you know you're going into that there's a lot of conflict. All right. I'm going to gear this video today towards the workplace, but really the tips that I've come up with to share with you, they can really be applied to any area of your life. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and gear it towards the workplace. Now, there's been a lot of strife and a lot of conflict in the workplace lately for a lot of folks that I've talked to because of the election, because of politics. And that's like rule number one, man. Don't talk about politics at work. There's really only 2 times I can think about you being able to talk about politics in the workplace openly. And that's if you work in a political figure's office, or if you're like in an industry where there's like high regulations, it's highly regulated, and working with policies, government policies is like a daily thing for you. Other than that, it just causes all kinds of issues, so stay away. However, people find themselves in conflicts, not just about politics or what's going on with the mess that's going on right now with folks, but just in general. Sometimes people feel left out. Sometimes people feel, negated in some way. Whatever reason, there's conflicts that happen at work every day. Here are some tips that I've come up with that to help relieve that. All right, tip number 1: watch for warning signs. A lot of people will be like, you know what, Allison, they came out of nowhere. I mean, just one day I came in, I said hi, and it was like, boom, like really angry, and it was just like out of nowhere. This person blew up at me. You can guarantee you it was not out of nowhere. 9 times out of 10, it's not out of nowhere. There were probably warning signs that you didn't see. Look for or look out for jabs. If somebody's jabbing you, like saying things to you that are like jabs that they don't normally do, that's a warning sign. If someone is rudely sarcastic to you and they're not normally that way, that's a warning sign. I say rudely sarcastic because there's a difference between rudely and humorously sarcastic. But if somebody's not normally rudely sarcastic and all of a sudden they're becoming that way, that's a warning sign. If somebody that's not normally passive aggressive is all of a sudden passive aggressive, that's a warning sign. If your little voice inside your head is going, oh, that person's acting a little weird, take note. And if it's like an ongoing thing, that's a warning sign. Number 2, don't accuse. All right. You can't assume anything with anyone. All right. So when you think something's going on, you think there's a conflict, or you think somebody's mad at you or whatnot, don't just accuse them of it. Don't accuse them of being mad. Don't assume that that's what the problem is, because you never know what's going on. All right. So until you know what's going on, do not openly accuse the person, because that's just going to make things a whole lot worse. And avoid the you language. Well, you did this and you did that, and you're acting really weird and you're acting mean, or avoid that. Step number 3: take the high road, right? So this election has been interesting, and a lot of people that I know normally take the high road have not taken the high road. However, until you know what's going on and until you can really talk to the person about the situation, remain friendly, remain as you always do, initiate friendly conversations. You be the initiator. You initiate the friendly conversations. You initiate the team building or the invitation out to happy hour or whatever it is, until you can both get together and talk about what is going on. All right. Step number 4: Big one. Listen, and I'm sure most of you have heard this before. Listen and don't just hear. How many times have you been talking and somebody's nodding? How many times have you done this? Because I've done it. Somebody's talking and you're nodding, but you're just thinking in your head about what you're going to say next. And then the person's done talking and you only caught like half of what they said, but you know exactly what you're going to say next because that's what you've been thinking about the whole time that they've been talking. All right, that's not cool. People know when you do that. Not only that, you look like a fool if what you say, what you've been thinking about saying, and then you go and blurt it out, has no relevance or has only half relevance, or it was obvious that you weren't listening. You say something that was obviously you weren't listening, then you look like a fool. All right. Not only that, to solve any conflict, people if there's conflict, that means somebody is feeling hurt in some way. All right. And the one thing that you don't want to do is negate their feelings, is to not verify their thoughts, not verify their feelings. The number one way to solve conflict is to make sure that the other person knows that you're verifying them as a human being. You're verifying their thoughts. You're making sure that they know that they're being heard. All right. That's all people want. They just want to be heard. All right. So that can, right there, just listening can solve probably about 90% of the conflicts out there. All right. And be open-minded. All right. When you listen, you may hear things that you never thought of before. Or you may think about it, they may say it in a way that you didn't think about the situation in that particular way before. So it could change your perspective on something, which is a good thing. It doesn't mean you're wrong. And it's not something that, should hurt your ego. It's a good thing. So be open-minded. Number 5, this is what I call the triple A effect, the AAA. Admit, apologize, and then ask for advice. Probably could be 4 E's. But if you're wrong, admit it. It's okay. Actually, you look more professional. People tend to like people that admit when they're wrong. And then apologize. Even if you don't think you're wrong, but you could apologize for maybe not listening in the past or misunderstanding something in the past. Apologizing, even if it's for something that you didn't necessarily do wrong, will help ease the situation. Okay? And then ask for advice. If you are wrong, ask for advice. People love to be asked their advice on something or their opinion on something. All right? So, hey, you're right. You know what? I was saying those things, and I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it was coming off that way, and I apologize for making you feel that way. What can I do to make sure that you don't feel that way again? Or what can I do to make sure you feel included? Or, whatever the situation is. All right? It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength and emotional intelligence when you do that, when you take that step. All right. Step number 6. If you still disagree, state your case and state your argument. Remain professional at all times. Change that you language into the I feel language. All right. It creates a softer environment and makes people feel more engaged. So instead of being, well, you did this, or you lack this, or you failed to do this, you can say something along the lines of, I feel disappointed that I wasn't told about this situation. Or I feel out of the loop because I wasn't told about this situation. Or, I feel like I'm not a part of the team when you go out to happy hours and I'm not invited. Or I feel as if I'm not valued when there's meetings and I'm not invited. Whatever the situation is, turn to you as much as possible, that you language, into I feel, and the other person's defenses are going to come down. All right. Step number 7. Again, ask them what their thoughts are on the resolution. People love to talk about what they think and give advice. All right. Ask them open ended questions, though. The open ended questions, those are the ones that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. The open ended questions are going to invite them to talk and then listen. Make sure you are intentionally listening to their words. All right. Then ask them for their thoughts on a resolution to the situation, and then you state your ideas on the resolution and state what you think should happen next and what you think the outcome should be and how to get there. And then ask the question, how can we work together to creatively come up with a solution where both of our ideas can be used? You are asking an open-ended question, you're asking them for their opinion or their advice, and you're acknowledging that some of their ideas are useful, and then you're inviting them to work together with you to merge both of your ideas. Hugely important to end any conversation like that. How can we work together to creatively come up with a solution to move forward and to work together and partner with us? All right. Step number 8. Oh yeah, set a follow-up date. Set a follow-up time if necessary, right? So sometimes it's not always necessary, but say you can't come to a resolution, say the conflict is still there. Take a breather, step away from the situation and say, hey, can we come back to this? Let's come back. Let's both go and breathe for a little while. Let's come back to this in a week. Let's collect our thoughts, and we'll come back in a week when both of us have calmed down, and we'll come together and collaborate, and we'll partner, and we'll we'll come up with a resolution. All right. So set that date, set that time, coming back together to either finish the discussion or to finalize, to iron out the last bits of conflict that you may have, or just follow up on any plans that you may have come up with together. All right. So there you have it. Those are the 8 tips that I have for you to resolve conflict in the workplace. It's really high and intense right now in this environment. I know there's, like I said, the politics and the election stuff has caused a lot of conflict in the workplace. But that's not all, right? So it could be conflict about anything. And again, you can use these tips not only in the workplace, but you can use them at home as well. They work wonders for relationships, your family relationships. All right. Thanks so much again, guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to head on over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, and peruse on over to Facebook and like the AC7 Group's Facebook page too. I really appreciate it. And if you want weekly tips sent straight to your email, peruse on over to ac7group.com and check out our blog page. And you can get blogs straight to your email once a week. Promise I don't spam. If you have any questions, email me. Let me know. Leave a message. Appreciate it. Thanks again so much, guys. Have a great week. And remember, go out there and be a light.